Greetings, welcome to the third video. This video will be on Wi-Fi setting up. How to set up your Wi-Fi if you just got a new router. This is the video for you. So you will check inside the box of the router. There should be an Ethernet cable that comes with the Wi-Fi router itself, and then underneath the router there should be a label that gives your IP address and the credentials of how to log into your router. If you do not find that, it should be in the manual in the box. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. What I have in front of me is an X.SEC. It's a pretty nice router. It's got a backup battery, so that's the coolest feature about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this bad boy up. I'm gonna show you how to change all the default settings on a new router. So under the router that you have, on my case, the IP that I've got is 192.168.0.1. Let's go. Okay, then it's gonna ask you for a password and a username. Usually those are all the things that are on the label that I've been talking about. So let's go. It's admin. I'm gonna log in. Boom, I'm inside. So you have basic settings, wireless settings, router settings, system settings, and all the advanced stuff. So this video is gonna be also short because I'm gonna try and cover the basic stuff and a little bit of the advanced stuff for advanced users. So we have different interfaces when it comes to all our routers. TP-Link has their own, D-Link has their own, Netgear have their own stuff. So this one is an X.SEC. This was a Neotel router that came with the package. As I said before, it's got a backup battery and it does 3G. So whenever you hit load shedding, you can still be on the internet. I'd recommend this for the office or for maybe internet browsers, like people who really like to be on the web. So let's go ahead and set this thing up. This is for all our WAN connections. So this is where you would put your account you get from Neotel and the password. I'm not gonna set that up for now. I'm gonna go for the wireless settings. Wireless settings, if you see anything that says SSID or wireless broadcast SSID, what it really means is the name of the signal that comes out of your Wi-Fi router. So bear in mind, if when you change this and you go onto your tablet or smartphone, it will show the name that you have set up here. So you can set this thing to anything, and usually when it's straight out of the box, it's the name, the manufacturer's name. So you want to change that so you can find it much more easier if there's not anyone around who has bought the same router as you. So let's move on to the channels. We have channels 1 till 11. Sorry, it's channel 1 till 11. And before you set up any channels, what you want to do is do a site survey and find out if there's any Wi-Fi routers around you. Could be your neighbors or the businesses around that are on the same channel. What this does is it puts you on a separate channel from all the other routers, because if you're on the same channel, you're not gonna have the best Wi-Fi internet experience, because there's gonna be a little bit of drawbacks and frequency clashing and conflicts. So you just want to do a site survey first. I'd recommend, if you're using Microsoft Lumia phones, go for Wi-Fi Analyzer, and if you're using Android, go for Wi-Fi Analyzer. They also do have it on Android and for iOS. So make sure that you set your channel to the right one. You can choose channel 1, 3, 6, and 10 if you are not crammed up. And if you are the only one, then you're gonna put it on 1. I'm gonna put this on 1 because I always put my routers on 1. In my area right now, I'm the only one who has any Wi-Fi stuff around here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the mode. This is the standard modes. Usually have A, B, G, and N. So A is not here, N is not here, sorry. So in most routers that I use, they have the N standard. I prefer the N standard because it's pretty universal for a lot of devices out there. But however, here I only have G and B. So I'm gonna put it on G and B so that all the Wi-Fi cards that are on G and B can actually get onto this Wi-Fi router. Let's move on to security options. Security options by default is on disabled. You do not want to do that. You actually want to put it on WPA or WPA/WPA2. Those are one of the stable and much more secure options that you have for encryption for your Wi-Fi. So if it's on disabled, every time people pick up your Wi-Fi SSID, what they'll do is they will actually log on to your Wi-Fi without a password. So this is the place where you set out your password. If you choose WPA or WPA2, it will give you an option for a passphrase. My passphrase right now here is Mountain Dew 2017, so I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And key lifetime, some routers do have this key lifetime. I put it on 128 minutes. I do not have any reason why, because I'm not really sure how this works, but I will get into detail with that. If you need further information, I can cover this for you. So let's move on and go to apply. Make sure that you apply your settings every time you change all the system settings, and after applying you will have to do a reboot. Now when you are rebooting, you will see all the LED lights flashing on your router. That's because it's setting up and it's restarting. So don't have a panic and think it's broken or anything. Just wait for it till all the LED lights are back. Some routers do a progress bar. This one does not have a progress bar to show how far the restart has gone, but all my lights are back up on, and I'm gonna refresh just to make sure that I'm back up and I'm still on it. Let's move on to router status. Router status, this shows you all the information about your router, right? So it will show you the series, which in my case it's MV400 series, and the firmware version. This is something that you want to regularly update. If there's any bugs on the software of the router, the manufacturers will always update the firmware. I see here it's on July 23rd 2009, which is pretty old, I must say. But yeah, I need to get back to the manufacturer's website and see if they have the latest firmware version for this, so I can update. And then as you move further on, you see WAN ports. This is all your internet. If you are using cable or PoE, all your PoE settings and IP range will show here. This is all the LAN ports, all the computers and devices connected to the LAN ports. IP address, it starts from here, and DHCP is on, yay. And then we have our wireless port, which is our basically our wireless Wi-Fi settings. So the access point is on with BG. These are all the settings that we've put on before. So let's move on to system settings. System settings this is where you change your password. Remember earlier on I said logging into a router, you want to change the default stuff, because not changing the default stuff leads to nasty business. Someone can just log in just the way you did and change a lot of settings on your computer without you knowing, on your router without you knowing. So that would be the biggest mess up ever. So you want to change your default passwords to something that you remember, not something as simple or something anyone can guess. That's what you also want to do with your Wi-Fi password. Don't set up password like registration numbers, phone numbers, names, kid. Just make it much more difficult for someone else to actually guess it. So I'm gonna move on and go to restore. If you want to restore the to factory settings, this is where you do it. And if you need to do that firmware update, this is where you do it. You usually download the file, browse, and just load it from here. So let's move on to the bit much advanced stuff. Wireless advanced control. Under wireless, it's on. I want my wireless radio to be on so I can be able to access my Wi-Fi from other devices such as smartphones and other laptops. And SSID broadcast on. You want to leave this on. You can put it off, which would ultimately put your Wi-Fi as a hidden. So you will have to manually put in the Wi-Fi SSID and the password. So it makes it a bit secure. But if you're in a much more friendlier environment and you have visitors, they want to use your Wi-Fi, it's gonna be really annoying everyone asking you this SSID and the password. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're in a friendly space. However, if it's a private company and you are dealing with sensitive stuff and you want to keep your stuff really safe, you can leave it as a hidden network. It's not a bigger doubt. So let's move on to port forwarding. Port forwarding, this is for much more advanced people. If you have a web server at home, or you have a computer that's always on and you always want to access it, say for instance there's an FTP that's running on there and you always want to access it, you can access your computers anywhere from the internet, wherever you are. You could be in China, you could be in Mexico, anywhere where you are, you can actually access your Wi-Fi router and any computer that's connected to it if you enable this. This goes with responsibility of setting up the protocol, port numbers, and the server IP addresses. So you need to know what you're doing when you want to enable port forwarding. As goes for packet and port forwarding, what type of packets do you want to be sent across and downloaded across. So let's move on to block services. This is pretty cool. If you are setting up Wi-Fi for an organization or a school or a preschool, you wanna block certain sites. It could be pornographic sites, it could be bandwidth chewers. I call them bandwidth chewers, websites like YouTube and other stuff. If it's a very constructive organization or work space, you want to limit some domains into getting into the network. So you want to block everyone from accessing stuff that doesn't make the network productive in any way. So this is where you all do all that stuff. And let's go to MacBlock, the interesting one. So with MacBlock, I know I've said before, using WPA is pretty interesting and it's secure, and WPA too. But if you also have MacBlock, this is pretty great because you can even still block people that have stolen your password. So if their MAC address is not on the list, then goodbye, you can't connect it. However, dedicated hackers can definitely get an access to this, and yeah, they can still go through it. But that's why you need firewalls and other stuff to keep the bad people out of your network. But I'd recommend you to do this because not everyone is a dedicated hacker, and you can go ahead and set up a MAC filter for your Wi-Fi wireless network. So let's move on to WAN setup. This is all your internet stuff. LAN IP, if you want to change the address of the router that you're using, you can change it right here. Use the router as DHCP. You want to leave this on. What this does, automatically gives IP addresses to all the computers that are connecting to your Wi-Fi router. You don't want to be manually or statically setting up IPs for every device that connects there. It's some nasty business. And you have DDNS. If you have a DDNS service, then you can actually put your credentials there and log in, and then static routes. This is for advanced users. If you have separate networks like computers in HR, a network in IT department, then you can set these things to separate routes. If there's a certain IP address that you need to go to directly before going to other IP addresses, you can use it here. So that's about it. If you want me to go further into detail about routers, please inbox me and subscribe. Thank you. Out. Signing out.